Hello, guys. This is Lydia, the lifestyle coach, and here is another awesome live feed. And our mission here is to end eating disorders using nothing but your brain. We are talking about binge eating, bulimia, overeating, yo yo dieting, body hate, food obsession, all of your mental and emotional energy being taken from this, all of that ended, and the beautiful relief of being able to eat. I'll say that again. Being able to eat. It is okay to want to eat. It is okay to want food. It is okay to be hungry. It is okay to be full. It is okay to have dessert. And I just want you to feel what that's like to hear that. Like what comes up in you, right? Because we have so much morality around eating. Oh, well, I can't eat because then I would gain weight, or I can't eat because, I will go crazy. I can't have one piece of chocolate because then I'll eat all the rest of it. I can't, have anything off of my plan because I'm addicted to it. I can't have, flour or sugar because I'll just go crazy because I'm an addict. I can't go and be in these situations. I can't eat. I can't eat. I can't eat. I don't know how to eat. That is the oppression of an eating disorder. That is the hell of an eating disorder, is with the basic human things, sleeping and eating and loving, that we start feeling and start seeing evidence of it, that we don't know how to eat and we can't eat and it's bad to eat and other people can eat but I can't, or I shouldn't and nobody else should. So I have a friend who says it this way, which I think is great. She says, dieting is like holding your breath. Some people can do it longer than others, but eventually everyone has to breathe. Do you feel that way? Do you feel like you're just holding your breath? You're just trying not to eat, or trying to just eat the right things to try to make yourself not binge, but eventually you're going to have to breathe. Eventually you're going to have to eat. Eventually you're going to binge again. And you don't know how to stop that. As there's part of you that knows that that's wrong and that's not okay and you're terrified of it. And part of you is just really excited about it. Because what a relief. What a relief to finally eat and to let yourself eat. And there is guilt and shame and anger and disgust afterwards. Especially because, well, now you have the health issues where it can kill you to binge like this, or you know that this is hurting all the things that are most important. But in that moment, when you finally give in and you let yourself eat, that it doesn't actually feel bad. You might know that this is wrong, you might be scared that you're out of control, but there's something that feels very human and something that feels very good about letting yourself finally eat. Like brought to tears in your humanness of, I need to eat. I should be able to eat. I have to be able to eat. And although this is wrong and I'll have to make up for it and I shouldn't eat this and I shouldn't have that and I'll never do this again, that humanness screams, shouldn't you be able to have chocolate? Shouldn't you be able to enjoy? Shouldn't you be able to eat like other people get to eat? Shouldn't you get to be a human like other people are humans? And although it feels so wrong for you, because you should be, and I'll put that should in quotes, you should be only eating these things and you shouldn't have these things, that restriction just feels like a knife. It just feels like this horrible constriction that you can only do for so long. And yes, awesome. Thank you guys for your beautiful comments. Sheila's saying, yes, permission is liberating. But the awful thing that is on the other side of that is, it's like we're giving ourselves permission to hurt ourselves. We're giving ourselves permission to do something that feels wrong in so many ways as well. On the one hand, it feels right and it feels needed. And on the other hand, it just feels very wrong. How can I give myself permission to do something bad And that's why we've got to get it all in tonight, because we're certainly not going to give ourselves permission to continue to do something bad. So I just finished a really wonderful audiobook by Glennon Doyle called Untamed. It's fantastic. And it's so speaking to the soul in really important ways. But one thing that she talks about is her bulimia. And I think that she put it so well, of that letting yourself eat, like having that relief and that release, it speaks to something very primal and true and important within us. That although the world tells us that we should be small and we should be thin and we should be restricted and we shouldn't have this food and we shouldn't want sugar and we shouldn't want dessert and we shouldn't want to eat after a certain amount of time, and why would you want to have something that could make you fatter? Like, although we're told that, there's this internal rebellion that feels so right when we let ourselves eat. Even if we're doing dangerous things afterwards that feel justified as well. Well, I just need to get rid of it. I've done something horrible. Then there's something in the back of our minds that feels like maybe it wasn't that horrible. It felt so needed and so necessary. I remember that feeling of just relief. It was like I was clenching all of my muscles and just like holding my soul in captivity. And even though binging was the last thing that I wanted to do, was a thing that I was most terrified of, when I finally just made the decision, even though it didn't even feel within my control, but when I finally just released and relaxed into, Lydia, you can have whatever you want, not forever, but for tonight, you can eat. What do you really want? Since you're not going to be able to do this forever, what do you really want? And I wanted more, and I wanted more, and I wanted more. And I needed to eat. Because even when I was having meals, when I was restricting, it didn't feel like eating. It didn't feel human. It still felt like a performance, and it still felt wrong, and it still felt controlled. And it was when I would binge was like the one time in my life that I actually got to relax. And it was the thing that was destroying my life as well. And how do we hold those things? How do we hold those two things of, I need to eat and it feels so good to let myself eat, and I have to find some way to control this. I have to get back control for my health, for my family, for my dignity, for my integrity. I can't keep doing this. This is how you hold those things. Is with true freedom, you get to eat. I want you guys to really understand that. And I'm wondering if maybe you've been here and you've been listening to these videos and thinking that this was just another restriction. This was just another cage to put yourself in. That we're going to put you on a restrictive diet, or we're going to guilt you, which doesn't ever work. We're going to guilt you into feeling like you have to change, that you're going to have to give something up, that you're going to have something taken away. I just want to be really clear. I want to clear the record right here. You still get to eat. You get to eat with more freedom and more joy and more permission than you ever have before in your life, because you've been feeling bad about eating since you were 10 years old. You get to finally not feel bad about eating. And you might have thoughts coming up for you of, but no, if I felt okay about eating, I would just go crazy. I would binge on chocolate and bread all day. If I really let myself do that, if I really gave myself permission, I'd kill myself with food. And if you try to do that on your own, and you don't really know how to get out of the cage, and it's just another cage for you, then yeah, it can be really damaging. We've had people that have come to us that have said, I finally just decided to let myself eat. And they're coming to us because they've gained 50 pounds in 6 months. And now they have 3 diagnoses, and they're worried about killing themselves with food. But somehow it still feels better than the restriction. Somehow it still feels more human. Understand you don't have to choose. You don't have to choose between freedom and health. True freedom is the same thing. Health is a natural human state. It's when your body says, we're hungry now and this is what we want. And you with full permission give that to yourself. And then your body says, we're full, we're done. We trust that you're going to feed us again. And then we let ourselves do that as well. And it is effortless. It is effortless as breathing. And that is what we get to hear over and over and over, hundreds and hundreds of times over, from the women all around the globe, and the men, that we have shown how to finally, truly have freedom. Because true freedom is health. True freedom leads naturally to a healthy state, to a set point weight, to a health and a body that is easily maintained in glowing health, to a mind that is free, that can think about other things because it's not thinking about food, to a mind that isn't under that oppression of shame and guilt and obsession, to emotions that can rest in peace and calm and joy because you're not beating yourself up anymore and you're not carrying around the guilt and the shame. These are the things that we hear every day. Wow, it's amazing that I can actually give myself permission to have dessert with my family. Wow, it's amazing that I can join my kids. We coached a woman where her teenage daughter, in her last years being at home, stopped inviting her mom out to dessert. She would say, hey mom, can we go out to dessert? Hey mom, can we go out to dessert? And after a while of being a teenager and doing that, she stopped inviting her mom because the answer was always no. The answer was always, I'm so scared of myself that I'm giving up time with my own daughter because I don't trust myself around dessert. You should have it, I can't. I can't eat, you can. And the horror is that we pass that on. We send the message to our daughters of, eat while you can, because you're not going to be able to in a little while. You're going to feel bad about eating for the rest of your life. Is that really the legacy that we want to pass on? And for this woman to be able to say yes to her daughter, we have had so many amazing kids have tears come to their eyes when their mom says, yes, I'll eat with you. Yes, I'll go out for dessert. Yes, I'll have a piece of birthday cake on this day that we're celebrating that I birthed you into this world. That I can fully celebrate with you that you were born with the symbol of this cake that we use in celebration. That our culture says, this is a wonderful day. Let's have something sweet and delicious. We see moms get to say yes to their kids. We see people being able to heal their relationships because they can finally spend time together. Because you know what people do that love each other? They go out to dinner. They make dinner for each other. They have special occasions and they celebrate it with food. And we have women all over the world being able to say, yes, I'll eat what you cooked for me. What a wonderful gesture of love. Yes, I'll sit down, I'll have dinner with the rest of our family. Not because they're doing something wrong, because they're finally doing something right. And it feels right and it feels human. But here's the freedom in that, is that when you know how to eat in a natural way with permission, and you're not in this restriction anymore, when you truly know in your bones that you can have it and you have permission to have it, and you know how to reprogram your brain so the guilt and the shame don't come up about it anymore. You don't binge anymore. You don't overeat anymore. Those things are a grasping, a desperate grasping at the humanity that our eating disorder and the diet industry has taken from us. And when you don't have to try to grasp at that anymore, when you're not caged and just trying to get any sort of freedom, when you are free, when there's no have to anymore, when there aren't rules anymore, because why would there need to be for something so natural? Then you get to find out how you really eat, which is calm and peaceful and a non-issue, and it can be standing up or walking or in the car, or when your little girl is putting goldfish crackers into your mouth. You don't have to be counting the calories of those or not being present in that moment. You can just say, yeah, feed me crackers, because this is a moment that we get to enjoy with each other. That is the humanness of being able to eat. And I think that everyone deserves that. Every single person in this world deserves to know the joy of eating and letting yourself eat and having permission to eat. And that is why we do what we do. Not everyone's going to choose that. There are people who will die with their eating disorders because they will have never known that there was an answer. The answer that has freed the hundreds and hundreds of people before them. They'll never find us. I hope that they do, but there will be people that never know that we exist. There will be people that know that we exist and know that they can have freedom, and they still choose something else because their cage feels more safe. And I honor their choice. But then there are those that I hope that we can just clear up today. Then there are those that want that freedom and think that this is just another thing that is going to be taken away from them. And although they want to end their eating disorders, although you want to be done, you're just afraid that this is another restriction, another failure. And I want you to know that it's not. This is about freedom and success for the rest of your life in a way that is so peaceful and natural to you that it is a non-issue, that you don't really remember what you had yesterday because it was a non-issue and you trust yourself with food, that your brain is peaceful and calm and you're not having to think about it all the time because it's just easy, as it should be. And what we're going to do is show you how to get out of that cage. You get more, not less. You get your life given to you, not taken away from you. You get to eat instead of being restricted. You get your health instead of losing your health. You claim your freedom. And it's not something that you're going to have to write down and maintain and track for the rest of your life. Because why should you have to? You don't have to when you're a normal eater and free. And if that's what you want, if there is a human part of you that knows that you deserve that, that knows that you should be able to eat, that is a right that you have. You just need to be able to do it without compulsion, without panic. If that's what you want, that's exactly what we can give to you. You've done it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. And if you're choosing to stay in that cage, I wish you well. This is your life and you don't have to do anything. But let's not have anything misunderstood. Let's not have you waste one more day of your amazingly precious and beautiful life. Let's not have you waste one more day that you do not get back on any misunderstanding that this is just another diet that you're going to fail. Because this is different. That is what we hear resounding over and over, hundreds of times over. Wow, this is different. Wow, this is a real answer. Wow, this is actual freedom. Wow, I was never broken. Wow, there was nothing wrong with me. If you want to be able to say those things yourself, then the number one thing you must do is we must start with a foundation of freedom so we can build on that strong foundation. And that is a free service that we do. It's called a breakthrough session. And without judgment, and without guilt, and without shame, and with love for another human being that we want to give the opportunity to be free, we are going to take an hour of our time for free. And you're going to have a breakthrough session with us. And we are going to get you the foundation of freedom. We're going to get really clear on what's truly happening. We're going to get really clear on what you want on the other side of this and what freedom is for you. And if we can show you how to close that gap so that you can be free for the rest of your life, we will show you how. And you will be clear on next steps of how to solve this. But we cannot help you if we're not in contact with you. And we cannot want this for you more than you want it for you. If you want freedom, that is what you do. You go to lifewithlydia.com/apply. Again, that's lifewithlydia.com/apply. site.The/apply. Do not let anything get in the way of that time, that sacred time that you have set aside for yourself and your freedom. That is important. That is worthy of your time. It is worthy of our time. We will show up for you. Show up for yourself. Again, that's lifewithlydia.com/apply. Because you deserve to be able to eat. And you deserve to not feel shame for wanting to. And you deserve to know what it's like to be a real human being in health and joy and being able to be present in the moments that are so important in your life. And this is Lydia, the Lifestyle Coach, signing off. Bye, guys. Mwah.